Had a very solid practice tonight, as we did yesterday. I really feel like our guys are starting to get in a routine, as far as practice and expectations. I thought they had very good energy both days, and I thought they were excited to practice, which is always a good thing.
Questions?
Gus, you haven't had to throw the ball much, but 2 weeks ago against Arkansas, Corey had 2 catches. Is he a guy you kind of like to get the ball in a little bit more?
Well, he's a big play guy, there's no doubt. And anytime he has the ball in his hands, he's got a chance to do something big with it. And he's a big weapon for us.
Compared to some of the other defenses you played this year, what does Georgia's front seven look like to you?
They're probably as good as we've seen. They're very long. They're fast. You don't see a whole lot of quarterbacks dropping back to pass and squirting out of there and finding positive things to happen. And they're tough against the run too.
Gus, how much has Coach Garner provided, a little insight, maybe, behind the veil of what Georgia does, whether it's offensively and his experience in practice the last couple of years?
I think it's real similar to, other coaches on our staff when we play other people. I mean, you just try to gather as much information you can. The thing about this group is they're extremely talented. And, you can definitely see that on film too.
Coach, the job Elijah Daniels done this season, playing a lot of D-tackle and defensive end for you guys.
Yeah, he's done a very good job. We're starting to play a little more inside, and which is always, that's tough to do for young guys, but he's got a lot of toughness, a lot of quickness. He creates a lot of things, positive in there for us when he's inside.
You look at the readoption stuff you guys do, similar things, just how much is it that goes into it, just the different blocking on every other play, so to speak, it kind of maybe confuses opponents at times? Yeah,
I mean, you gotta, you try your best to do what you do, and at the same time, schematically give yourself an advantage. Each week is different. You have to adjust during games, and that's probably one of the positive things that I can say right now about our offense is they've been able to adjust for the most part, and that's always important because people tend to play us a little bit different sometimes than what we've seen, and so you have to adjust.
How were the players' attitudes today and last several days at practice leading up to a big game like they're got?
Yeah, it's really been consistent. I mean, that's the thing that stands out to me is, it's the same way it was 3 or 4 weeks ago and as it was today. I mean, they're locked in. When another guy's in front of them and they're watching from the side, they're locked in, they're asking questions, and that's always a positive sign.
How big is his team?
Both these teams are pretty good at making big plays offensively. How important is it going to be to tackle well against Georgia?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to tackle well. I mean, that's going to be a big key. They've got some exceptional guys that are good with the ball after they get it. It's not just one guy. They've got numerous guys, and we're going to have to tackle well. And at the same time, like you just said, we're going to have to create some big plays. They're a defense that not a lot of people has consistently drove the ball on. And so we're going to need to be able to do that too.
How big has Robinson Threezy been just over the season for the defense?
He's been very big. He's got great instincts. He's starting to settle down and really knows his position. He made an outstanding play on the interception Saturday. Just knew where it was happening, and came out of his zone and spun to the ball and made a great play. He's starting to feel more comfortable, and he's made a lot of impact plays for us this year.
How do you think Nick has looked in practice as far as some of the throws maybe he struggled with earlier in the year, middle of the field,
Yeah.
some of the timing?
Well, it's really about timing and about his footwork, and he's worked extremely hard on that, him and Coach Lashley, and you can see he's starting to get more comfortable each practice. So, that'll be a good thing as we end this thing.
How does the record you have so far in this associated this year, how does that affect recruiting for you guys?
Recruiting's going great. And it was going good even early in the season. I think a lot of people see there's a lot of good things in the future, and it's going very well.
Does it open more doors when you have the success you've had this season?
There's no doubt.
And then talk about the big recruiting weekend you guys got this week, coming up this week.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a great atmosphere, and a lot of good ones.
I was trying to say, Gus, how much more difficult is this matchup this week now with Murray? Because as Ellis mentioned Sunday, it's like you're going from the least experienced quarterback in the SEC to now the most experienced in the span of 1 week.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, like I said, he's one of the best to ever play in the league, and his records speak for themselves. And, you know, he's one of those guys that seems like he's been there forever. And we got to work that out for us, and our defense understands that.
Gus, how much do you kind of remember games when maybe things don't work out for you as far as offensively? For instance, obviously, I look back at your record as an offensive coordinator. And so the Georgia game in 2011 only scored a single touchdown.
Yeah.
Kind of worst offensive performance y'all have had scoring-wise ever. So how much do you kind of look at that game and maybe?
Yeah. Well, I think you look at past experiences when you're going against different people, not just that year, but you look at 2010. You look at everything that goes with that, and you know, you try your best to put together a plan that you can be successful.
So that doesn't hold any kind of personal.
No, I mean, no, you can't think that way. I mean, we played pretty good in 2010.
Gus, given the fact that you've had a couple of matchups this year, like Arkansas and then Arkansas State, people would maybe say were personal matchups for you. Do you feel like that gives you any kind of better insight for maybe to give advice to Nick this week, what he might be doing?
No, you know, I mean, Nick was there. He knows a lot of the players and all that, but we hadn't got into all that. I mean, he's just focused on the job he's got to do, and with his current teammates.
I know looking back at the season opener, Nick admitted that he did have some nerves at first in that game. Does it concern you at all that though he said he is an even-kill guy, that maybe the moment does hit him and he gets out on the field first thing?
You know, I really don't think so. He's a real honest, upfront young man, and I think a lot of his nerves were just the first, you know, not knowing what to expect. Didn't know his teammates very well, didn't know his coaches, how we were going to react and all that. And I think he's in a comfort zone. And like I've said before, he doesn't get too high or too low. He's very even keel. And once the game gets going, there's no doubt in my mind that he'll be ready.
Anything else?
Gus, given the fact that I kind of tripped over my question yesterday and I didn't have a chance to go to the spring, were you going to press my bounce back today?
So, yeah.
The fact that I didn't get to go through the spring, were you going to press my bounce back today with some better questions?
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. You're